some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing.
Hey, you guys, it's Mo, and that is my new song. I don't know what in the Walmart rapture is this, and I think 2025 is going there. Good morning, Wolfram. Thank you for all of your modly mod duties. And 80s Music Man Neon Gamer, Genius Dr. Alessi Saves the World, Hulda Iceland. Good afternoon from Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, Spain. Ooh. I think I might have said that right, or I am charged with at least 18 hate crimes in the UK. Don't know. Welcome, Tammy and Jason J. And let's see, looking Celestial Force. And looking, JKD Buck, Bond James, and Denise Sells. Welcome. Yeah, the squirrel named Dave, I need to lengthen it just a little bit because it says he's in his cage doing a rave. But thank goodness for, AI until it turns into Skynet. Well, and welcome, Catherine and Audio Coffee. Good morning. So our first story, for those of us who don't know if Karen Reed will ever end, we might have a more distinct, ending of everything. Not to be the bearer of bad news, and these are likely going to miss us, but just for y'all to know to get your affairs in order or do whatever you want to do. Live like, it's Y2K 1999, January 31st. If you want to do that, here's your answer. It looks like 3 possible city-killing asteroids could strike the Earth within weeks, generating 1 million times more energy than any atomic bomb that hit Hiroshima. So there you go. We may not have to figure out what's going to happen in the Karen Reed case. I mean, God intervened. Well, good things don't always come in threes. Venus is concealing at least 3 city-killer asteroids that could strike the Earth within weeks without warning, potentially wreaking havoc upon our planet before we can react. 20 co-orbital asteroids, space rocks in the orbit of 2 celestial bodies of Venus, are currently known. The authors of the warned apocalyptic study, which was published in the Journal of Astronomy and Astrophysics. It's page turner. The twist at the end, M. Night Shyamalan worthy. The international research team, led by Valerio Carbuo of São Paulo University in Brazil, wrote that at least 3 of these asteroids, 2020 SB, a bunch of numbers, and the last one I'll call Cletus, that circle the sun in tandem with our twin planet, have very unstable orbits that take them dangerously close to Earth, the Daily Mail reported. If this shaky trajectory is shifted only slightly by any small gravitational change or force, the asteroids could be set on a collision course with our planet, per the study. Okay, so it's a study in could versus will. Co-orbital status protects these asteroids from a close approach to Venus, but it does not protect them from encountering Earth, the researchers warned. Karuba and company came to this conclusion by using imitation space rocks to simulate a range of possible outcomes over 36,000 years, finding that there is a sizable population of low eccentricity asteroids to those previously thought to be harmless that could be propelled toward Earth via gravitational shifts and other factors. So this is sounding more like could than will, so we will be sitting through more testimony. Now, we do need to get Aperture in here. I need Dr. Welcher to dress up as an asteroid to Bill Nye the hell out of this. He's our only hope, y'all. While scientists at NASA and other space agencies routinely track potential hazardous near-Earth asteroids, the telescopes can't always spot rocks in a suborbital path with Venus due to the sun's glare, which tends to shield them like a cosmic cloaking device. Now, due to this interstellar blind spot, the Rubin Observatory in Chile would only have 2 to 4 weeks to spot deadly asteroids, leaving very little time if they were on a collision course. Now, for reference, a mission to engineer something that could deflect a killer space rock would generally take years to formulate. Nuh-uh, we send miners into space. Look, if we could get Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck to do it, I think that we could figure something out. That being said, it's the government. Low eccentricity Venus co-orbitals pose a unique challenge because of the difficulties in both detecting and following these objects from Earth. So it could be good, or bad news depending on how you feel about things during a current day if any of these intergalactic gravel stones hit home. The 3 asteroids mentioned above, Huey, Dewey, and Huey-Lewis, measure between 330 and 1,300 feet in diameter, making each one capable of possibly destroying an entire city and causing massive fires and possibly tsunamis. But it doesn't look like these are on their way. It seems more that this is a could, so don't, dump all your stocks and marry Broomhilda. Don't do it. I think it'll be okay. It doesn't seem like they're on their way here right now. So we're going to be stuck with the Karen Reed trial. I know some of you are crossing your fingers, but look, I'm wearing my Harry Potter velvet red crimson pimp jacket to celebrate that the state's case is DEAD dead today, hopefully. I hope. I'm just glad I spelt that right. I practiced. I'm a terrible speller. Even autocorrect can't figure me out. Now, in What the Walmart this is the wrong story. In Kids These Days Are Rotten, we get a lot of stories like that, but there are some kids who are actually doing really well, being selfless, being workers, and I do have a Diet Coke shirt on. They didn't have a Coke Zero shirt, so I was sad, but I'm a Diet Coke person in my soul. What can I say? But, this young man did a really good thing, and I figured he needed to get a little bit of his flowers for it, if that's the correct terminology. I was just going to do snaps because I'm from the Elle Woods stage of life. A Burger King employee who worked a last-minute shift in graduation clothes after his high school ceremony has raised $22,000 in donations. Freshly graduated Georgia high schooler collected his diploma, then got back to work, making burgers at Burger King just hours after his ceremony, inspiring a local mom to raise thousands for his college education. Mikhail Baker picked up a shift at the DeCola, Georgia restaurant where he worked, seeing the late night rush off on May 21st. The 18-year-old had just graduated from Mills Creek High School hours earlier and was still wearing his graduation stole and the medals that he had won and achieved with while donning plastic gloves to bag orders at, Burger King. Now, Baker's attire caught the attention of an eagle-eyed customer, Maria Mendoza, who recorded a TikTok of the hardworking employee who decided to hustle and delay his well-earned summer vacation. While many graduates spent the night celebrating with friends and family, one young man quietly showed the world what determination looks like, Mendoza wrote on GoFundMe. Just after receiving his diploma, still proudly wearing his medals, he reported to his shift at Burger King. Mendoza's drive-through interaction with Baker took place around 10 p.m. after she had seen her daughter graduate from the same Houston school located about 40 miles northeast of Atlanta. Mendoza's 20-second clip of Baker has been viewed more than 3 million times. He didn't do it for attention. He doesn't even know his story went viral, but thousands of people were moved by his dedication, humility, and work ethic, she wrote. Mendoza was captivated by Baker's radiating joy and politeness, which inspired her to start a crowdfunding campaign. The GoFundMe has garnered over $22,000, and all the money will be given to Baker so he can pursue his college dreams. His dedication and quiet strength really moved me. I felt called to do something to recognize that, she told 11 Alive. I'm just grateful to do something for him. And what a good young gentleman. Again, I know there's a lot of stories, about kids doing bad things and things like that, but we do have kids like this, like my daughter, like a bunch of the, friends that graduated with her. So while there are, some kids acting wild and like they don't have any home training, there are some really good kids out there, and we need to focus on those good kids too and give them their flowers as much as we call out and shame those kids who act like they don't have no mamas. Now, on May 26th, Mendoza returned to the Burger King and showed Baker the thousands of dollars raised for his future. The teen was brought to tears over the generosity of nearly thousands of donors and offered hugs to both his mother and Mendoza with a second heartfelt video posted to TikTok. Baker revealed the uncertainty that he had faced post-graduation because of financial restrictions, but he was hoping to go to a trade school. Thank you so very much. I was thinking of taking a gap year because I didn't have the money for school, but thank you to all of you. Now I might go straight to technical college and get my mechanical, I don't know if it's a certificate or certification, but that is just great. And he said, I never thought this would happen to me, but I'm very thankful, Baker added, fighting tears. So I wanted to put some good stories up today because we're going to have to deal with God only knows what from the state's witness, and I just needed something good. However, we do have one that I think might need to go to Snake Island shortly.
It's a curse, we've got room for the wicked, the cruel, and the worst. If you lie, if you cheat, if your soul's made of bile, you're bound for the fangs and the venom in style. Oh, one-way ticket to Snake Island. Oh, better conscience, less cowards and gaslighters. Go. No anchor, no lifeboat, no tearful goodbyes. Just his hand and come beneath cold-blooded skies. Backstab your friend.
Y'all, I have no words for this story. I don't even know where to put this man other than Snake Island, because what the actual flippin' flapjack is that mugshot? I too, sir, would be embarrassed if I had gone to the Beanie Baby Tycoon's mansion and attacked him, do what now? I mean, was he trying to get the Princess Diana Beanie Baby? If y'all don't remember the craziness that was Beanie Babies, like, I thought pet rocks were dumb. No, Beanie Babies and saving them for retirement. There were entire Home Shopping Network blocks for Beanie Babies and the acrylic holders and tag protectors that would help them. Y'all, it was a crazy time, but we did have, TGI Friday, and I'd rather go back to that, if I'm honest. Step by Step, Family Matters, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Blossom, possibly. I can't remember, but let's bring back TGI Friday. Anywho, let's continue with this story. A combat veteran who once warned that he was, quote, trained to eliminate, end quote, his enemies, allegedly barricaded himself inside the California home of the Beanie Babies CEO. Russell Maxwell Fay, 43, was taken into custody by authorities after a standoff with law enforcement on May 21st. Now, according to a release from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, Police said that deputies responded to a call from the Montecito home of the reclusive billionaire Ty Warner, 80 years old, the CEO of Beanie Babies. Now, upon their arrival, deputies came across a gravely injured woman inside the home and determined that all of the other occupants had been able to escape. Now, according to the police, Faye was barricaded in an upstairs bedroom. He was with that Princess Diana Beanie Baby, I'm telling you. Police said that after a crisis intervention trained deputy attempted to talk Faye out of the room, the suspect attempted to escape out of the room's second-story window, where he was caught outside the home with the help of the bestest doggo ever canine team. Why don't we put the canine officer's name in? I want to, thank Officer Rufus. I really don't. Okay. He was caught by the bestest dog ever and taken into custody. Now, according to local NBC affiliate KSBW, reported that the female victim, who Law and Crime is not naming, is a 60-year-old financial services expert who once worked for Warner's hotel division. Now, in addition to his Beanie Baby empire, Warner also owns several high-end properties. Yeah, because I think the Beanie Baby fortune has kind of dried up. I mean, I didn't get any for my kids. In fact, sin upon sins. I just let my kids play with my old Beanie Babies because, I wasn't going to save them for anything. So, that being said, what happened to this woman is terrible. Now, according to the criminal complaint, the woman was assaulted to the point that she was comatose due to a brain injury, allegedly at the hands of Faye. Now, Warner was unharmed. The Santa Barbara Independent reported that Faye allegedly broke into Warner's residence and claimed that it was his own home, demanding inside that everyone who wasn't him leave. Now, he is a veteran of the U.S. Army and was featured in a 2014 article in the San Francisco Chronicle focused on a court that specialized in veterans issues. In that article, Faye said, I am fully trained for combat. I have been trained to eliminate you. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. You were right on the first thing, sir. Look, as a semi-fluffy American, let's be real. If anyone jogged fastly away from us, we would be scuppered in our plans to, unalive or assault anyone. So let's be real. Maybe 20 years ago, yes. But today, you've gained the, middle-age spread, sir. Nice try. Now, according to the Independent, Faye had several brushes with the law, including laying hands on his wife when she attempted to leave him and take her child. Local ABC affiliate KEYT had more information on his criminal history, including a 2017 arrest in Florida's Siskiyou County for assault and battery. He is also named in a complaint in 2024 after allegedly threatening a couple in Arroyo Grande. Now, he is currently being held in jail on a $1 million bond after being charged with attempted red rum, burglary, kidnapping, assault, and resisting a police officer. Now, unfortunately, brain injuries are very scary and very unpredictable. So if his victim that he assaulted to the point of being comatose passes away, expect those charges to be upgraded. If she has a permanent lifelong disability, expect those charges to possibly be upgraded. I'm not a lawyer, but I've watched enough trials. So there's your advice on that one. Well, in other good news, or at least good doggo news, a new home test may be able to detect the big C, thanks to adorable little puppies who can sniff it out. Do we get a puppy? Do I get this test and get a puppy? Because I swear to goodness, I will test this. I'm not too worried about the big C, but if I get a little puppers, I'm okay with it. Mr. Mo would be totally okay, or totally not okay. He's more of a cat person. You've probably heard that dogs can be trained to sniff out cancer. Now, a startup spotted early is harnessing that incredible ability along with groundbreaking technology to launch nature or medicine's best new secret weapon against the big C. The biotech company is developing a revolutionary at-home Big C screening test that has part pup and part AI as their, I guess, mix of magic. Here's how it works. You order a test that arrives at your door. You breathe into a high-tech mask that resembles an N95 for about 3 minutes, then send that to Spot It Early's lab. Now, they're a team of professionally trained dogs, give it a good sniff, and if there's any cancer present, they'll know. Our dogs are natural workers and love being mentally stimulated by their sense of smell. So training them to detect odors wasn't a challenge, it's in their nature. Shalom Madar, CEO of Spot It Early, told the Post. Now, with around 250 to 300 million receptors, the dog's sense of smell is estimated to be 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than humans, which is what makes them highly effective for scent-based tasks, such as those in the police force or for detecting diseases in humans or even blood sugar drops, seizures, things like that. JKD Buck, great dad joke. I like it. Honestly, if I don't have to get into a PET scan ever again, I'll be super duper happy, and I'm sure my insurance would be too. I mean, at least, I guess. Now, according to Madar, the dogs make their diagnosis by detecting cancer odors that, are in the patient's volatile organic compounds, biological information from the blood in our lungs that travels into the air that we exhale. Now, as incredible as these pup-professional super sniffers are, the real magic happens when canine intelligence meets artificial intelligence. Oh God, Skynet is creating a dog. This is going to be terrible. Now, as the detection dogs are sniffing the samples in the lab, we are using our proprietary AI platform, Lucid, to track and analyze their physiological and behavioral signals, collecting thousands of data points per second. Lucid will generate a positive lab result if a cancer signature is identified in the sample. The fusion of advanced technology with extraordinary olfactory abilities of canines enables each sample to be screened in a fraction of a second, making the solution highly scalable. The goal is to spot cancers earlier when they're easier and cheaper to treat. Too often, cancer diagnosis comes too late, Madar said. Our goal is to reduce late-stage and potentially fatal cancer diagnoses. The data is clear. When we detect cancer early, we can significantly improve survival rates and outcomes. The test, which is in late-stage development, is expected to hit the market in 2026 with an estimated price tag of $250. Now, this just sounds like anxiety that I get to pay $250 for because, I would be like Twitter-pated to the max until that mask thing came back clear. So for those of you who do have family histories, this might be something I don't know. Now, that's per cancer type with bundle discounts for multi-cancer screenings. Oh, it's $250 per cancer type. You'd think that the dog wouldn't know the difference, but okay. We plan to work with health insurers to cover the test to reduce the financial burden in our patients. Once it becomes commercially available, this will be a high priority for us. Now, in a recent clinical study, Spot It Early's cancer screening method clocked a 94% accuracy. So, I mean, hey, people with much better grasps on math and chemistrology and medicalology are dealing with this. So if it works, it works. If it saves lives, I'll be glad. Now, if it works, it may be able to save you from a trip to the doctor and an unpleasant procedure. Now, many individuals avoid routine cancer screenings because they can be both uncomfortable and invasive. But simplifying the process to a self-administered screening test where users just breathe into a mask, this levels the barrier and encourages more people to be proactive in testing. Now, research has found that only 14% of cancers in the U.S. are diagnosed by a traditional screening test. While Spot It Early is not meant or not looking to replace those tests, he does want people to, improve their cancer diagnosis and treatment ecosystem. So there you go. I mean, Beagle's doing God's work. I still think they should just send you a puppy, but that's just me. And Mr. Mo has said no to puppies. So if a company gave me one, I could not say no. If I actively go get a puppy, then I'm in trouble. I love how I legalize my own sort of desires and rationalize them. But it's the time of the show everyone comes here for, where we take out the scum and call out names, get our chunklas off, ready to shame and, not disparage, but shame and, well, just snark at the worst among us. Lord Chippy, let's rip.
They're our skin, they steal our grace. These monsters wear a human face. No gavel, no badge, no throne, no crown can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
Well, this woman, human female thingamabob, looks kind of like a swamp donkey and a hag, got together, and this was the result. Also, she's 29. That's a rough 29, ma'am. On her first day of daycare, a toddler never woke up from her nap, and now an employee is charged. Lock her up, throw away the key, drop the soap, ma'am, bon voyage, bitch bag. Allegedly in Minecraft, as always, I have to remind myself and others that until she is adjudicated of any crime, she is innocent in the court of law, but guilty in the court of Lord Chippy. It works out that way sometimes. It is how it is. That's how it be. A North Carolina woman was arrested in connection with the death of a 16-month-old child who passed away at a daycare facility. Alexandra Kofe, 29, is facing a charge of involuntary manslaughter in the death of the girl. Now, officers from the Lenoir Police Department were called to Creative Beginnings shortly before 3 p.m. on Monday, May 19th, in response to an infant in cardiac arrest. Now, when first responders arrived, they discovered that the little girl was unresponsive. After life-saving measures were initiated, the little girl was taken to Cadwell UNC Healthcare, where unfortunately they couldn't do anything to save her. Now, 2 days later, on May 21st, police arrested Kofe, an employee at the daycare facility, for her involvement in the child's death, per a press release. Now, she was taken into custody and released on a $500,000 bond. The infant's mother told WBTV that it was her daughter's first day at daycare. Motherfucker. Like, nightmare for a mother. You send your child, she was probably nervous as hell because, again, you're giving your most precious thing to other people. And you're saying, please take care of my heart while it's outside of my body. And this woman was like, nah. Just go to the... Elon, I don't care if the rockets work. Let's see if she can get to Mars. I'm just throwing that out there. We need test subjects. I say I have a rotation from Lord Chippy. Let's work together, Elon. Now, the same day of the arrest, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services did suspend the license of Creative Beginnings and ordered the facility to shut down. Now, Kofe's attorney could not be reached for comment, and a probable cause hearing is scheduled for next week. So I will try to keep up with what actually happened. But this is looking like it's going to be a case where they have more evidence that this wasn't a natural, passing. This wasn't anything medically related. So absolutely just awful. My heart goes out to the mother. I can't imagine your pain right now. And it just sucks that people, again, get these jobs and don't give two rats' asses what they do. If you don't give a rat's ass, go work at McDonald's, where they continuously ask me when I order a hamburger if I would like cheese on that. No, you absolute giant Muppets. If I said hamburger, I meant hamburger, which means I don't want cheese. Had I said I wanted a cheeseburger, that would have been a thing to ask. But I said I wanted a hamburger. Enough of my McDonald's rage. I'm just so tired of being asked when I order a hamburger if I would like cheese on that. If I wanted cheese on that, I would have ordered a cheeseburger. totally unrelated rant. Well, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need. A cheating wife wanted her husband, well, gone, and her lover was a convicted red rummer. Well, romance in prison, what can you do? And I have my favorites. Thank you. I'll need the swear jar today. I am wearing the Harry Potter Gryffindor Pimp Magic jacket, so I may feel a little bit loose with my tongue today because I am a PIMP or, Hugh Hefner. Either way, thank you so much. Let's see, a woman serving, oh, she's from Indiana, represent. We get to have our own red rummers. Unfortunately, it's this chick with a face that only, well, a blind man could love. How did she have two men that liked her? Because honest to God, she looks about, I would rather cuddle up with a kimono dragon, not a Komodo, a Komodo. A kimono dragon would be fun too. I could imagine. I want a kimono, so there you go. But I would rather cuddle up with Taylor Shabusiness than this woman. I mean, at least Taylor might be nice sometimes. This woman looks like she'd give you an enema with, no warning. A woman serving prison time in Indiana for plotting her husband's red rum, allegedly with a convicted killer with whom she was having an affair, has been denied an appeal. Well, doggone it, how'd that happen? What, no appeal? The local Evansville Courier and Press newspaper reported that Elizabeth Fox Dewar had her conspiracy to commit murder charge upheld earlier this month by the Indiana Court of Appeals. Now, according to the outlet, Fox Dewar's defense attorney had argued for her release based on the fact that police never found evidence of written or verbal agreements between her and her lover, Larry Ali Richmond Sr., who is accused of shooting and unaliving her husband, Robert F. Dewar II, in 2019. Now, this was a really sad story. He was a 28-year veteran of the Evansville Fire Department, had just gotten home from a 12-hour extra shift that he had worked in service of his community when Richmond Sr. allegedly just approached him in his driveway and fatally shot him. So this was a fairly big case in Indiana. I had just forgotten it until I read about the victim. Now I remember it. Police alleged at the time that they connected Richmond Sr. to the murder case early on after his son told investigators that his father had bragged about the murder. I mean, interesting, sir. I mean, where is it?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I mean, bragging about your red rum seems kind of dumb. Now, Richmond Sr. has been released from prison the year prior after serving 22 years for a separate murder case. So he just got out of the clink, did another red rum, and decided to brag about it. You think if you'd been to the clink once, you would know how to stay out of there, but there you go. Now, investigators began to look into Fox Dewar's involvement in her husband's death after discovering she had deleted an outgoing call to Richmond Sr. just minutes before calling 911 to report her finding her husband had been shot 3 times in the couple's driveway. Now, she was sentenced to 90 years in prison last year for her role in the conspiracy, according to local WEVV, WFIE, and the Courier Press and Journal. The decision earlier this month to uphold the conviction was unanimous among the 3-panel judgeship, according to the newspaper, which reported that Fox Dewar's defense attorney argued only the evidence tying her to Richmond Sr. Basically, the only evidence in this entire case was the erased phone call. Now, was there, Mike from that chapter, was there life insurance? Life insurance? Life insurance? Yes, there was. There was life insurance. Now, the evidence supports the interference that Richmond and Fox Dewar had conspired to kill Robert Dewar, the judge wrote in the panel's decision. In challenging the sufficiency of the evidence, Fox Stewart effectively requests this court to reweigh the evidence, which we will not do. So, I'm sorry, just stay in prison, ma'am. Bye-bye. Drop the soap. I mean, with a face like that, I don't think many people are going to want you to be their girlfriend, but maybe their enforcer. You know, if there's a roller derby team in the woman's jail, I think you could be an enforcer. What a see you next Tuesday. Well, my rant, beforehand, I may not ever rant to an actual McDonald's and or Checkers employee if this is the penalty. A Checkers employee is accused of red rumming a customer for possibly asking for mayonnaise packets. That's it. I recant my rant. I love you people that work in fast food, and you can do, I love being asked if I have to have cheese on my hamburger. You know, it challenges my perspective on what a hamburger could be. A Checkers employee in Florida was arrested after being accused of shooting and unaliving a customer who was possibly asking for mayonnaise packets, according to local authorities and court documents. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office shared on May 22nd that Elijah Travis Mackey, 23, was charged with premeditated murder with a firearm in connection with the killing of Wesley Robertson at a Checkers location in Kissimmee. Now, Mackey, who was working at the Checkers location during the incident around 10:10 p.m., engaged in a verbal dispute with Robertson regarding his food order, according to the sheriff's office. The confrontation escalated, prompting Mackey to shoot Robertson, the law enforcement agency said. Now, Robertson was taken to the local medical center where, unfortunately, he did succumb to his injuries. Deputies arrested Mackey and booked him into the Osceola County Jail on May 22nd. It is unclear whether he has bail or a defense attorney. This is a fairly new case. Justice does take time. So this particular case was in Florida. The last one was in Indiana. And then, what in the name of all that is unholy? No, Final Form Jesus is coming with this one because you let an entire family freeze to death? Are you kidding me?
The key keep its grove, thou gloaming shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, Final Form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Well, thank God these two are being sent to prison. I hope that Gen Pop Justice learns what you did, because an entire family frozen to death while you were trying to smuggle them across a border, you absolute, heartless Muppets only worried about money, you absolute jackasses on just, again, Elon, we have so many people that can go to Mars. The ringleader of a human smuggling plot that let a family of 4 from India unfortunately freeze to death at the U.S.-Canadian border was sentenced to 10 years. 10 years? Are you mother rat flapping kidding me? U.S. District Judge John Tenham ordered that, oh, for the love of all that is God. Okay, Harshkumar Ramanlal Patel, nicknamed Dirty Harry by authorities, to be sentenced to a decade behind bars for leading the deadly operation. Now, the prosecutor had requested a 20-year sentence. Another plot member, driver Steve Anthony Shand, was sentenced to 6.5 years, though prosecutors had recommended that he receive 11 years. The crime, in many respects, is extraordinary because it did result in the unimaginable death of 4 individuals, including 2 children. These deaths were clearly avoidable. The 2 men were tried and convicted on all 4 counts last November in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. During their trial, prosecutors said that Patel, an Indian national, and Shand, a U.S. citizen from Florida, of course Florida would be in here somehow, participated in an illegal operation that brought people from India into Canada on student visas before smuggling them into the U.S. Now, the operation left Jagdish and Vashablin Patel and their children, 11-year-old Vengai and 3-year-old Demirk, unfortunately frozen to death at the border in 2022. The morning the family was found, a mere 33 feet from the U.S. border, it was negative 36 degrees, according to a nearby weather station. Now, the family was originally from Dinjuka. Look, I am going to get so many reports from the EU. A village in the Indian state of Jharkhand, which is also where Dirty Harry is from. In the village, Patel is a common last name, and the victims were not related to the defendant, so it's kind of like Smith or Johnson here. Now, before Dirty Harry's sentencing, his attorney maintained his innocence, arguing that he was a low man on the totem pole and asked for time served, which was 18 months. That would be a hell no-go. Now, acting U.S. Attorney Lisa Kirkpatrick said that he was exploiting migrants' hopes for a better life in America to benefit himself. We should make no mistake. It was the defendant's greed that set into motion the facts that brought us here today, she said before sentencing. Now, Dirty Harry, wearing an orange prison uniform and handcuffs, declined to address the court and showed little remorse for his actions. Mr. Patel has never shown an ounce of remorse. Even today, he continues to deny that he is Dirty Harry and that he worked with Mr. Shand on this smuggling venture, despite substantial evidence to the contrary and counsel for his co-defendant identifying him as such at trial. So this was a federal case, so it wasn't streamed, but thank goodness sometimes the feds do their jobs. I mean, it swings in roundabouts, but sometimes they do stuff. Although, where are those Epstein files? At any point, hey, also, what happened in Las Vegas? Could we ever know what happened in Las Vegas? Would that be okay? And the TWA 100 or 800 flight that happened, near the birth of Mo? I mean, not years-wise, but dates-wise. Could we work on that? I would like some answers. I thought we were going to get answers. I guess I'll just sit here looking cute and not getting answers. Now, what in the name of Hades in a handbasket is this bizarre bullshit? A bizarre new beauty trend that turns your skin orange, but could land you in the ER. First it was salmon droppings, now it's orange carrot maxing. The world is getting stupider. Idiocracy is on its way. A new TikTok trend called carrot maxing is taking root among beauty-obsessed users looking to score sun-kissed sheen. Instead of, using bronzer, some people are turning orange or worse, landing themselves in the hospital. Yes, you get beta-carotene overload. You do look orange. This is not good for your body. Do not try this at home, children. Fake tanning has oh wait, let me do this. Oh, no, got to take off the pimp jacket, go with the crop top. Let's see. We are becoming a TikToker. All right. I'm a method actress. Fake tanning has become really expensive, so it's time to start carrot maxing. One user, Sydney Pace, declared on X on May 9th, alongside a photo of 6 cans of sliced carrots and a bottle of Diet Dr. Pepper, watching our figure. 9 days later, the apparent veggie binge, she posted an alarming update. Update, carrot maxing sent me to the ER? Yeah, you giant freaking moron. At least if you were eating Tide Pods, I understood that you were stupid. But now this is just, Darwin could not give out enough awards. The beta-carotene packed trend supposedly delivers a natural tanned look to skin by turning it an orangish hue. But if you go too hard on carrots, you might end up with carotenemia, a rather harmless condition that literally turns your skin yellow-orange due to high levels of beta-carotene in the blood. You have got to be mother flippin' Yeah, it's orange. The beta carotene is orange. What do you want from me, you rejects? Do you remember before we had phones when no one did this stupid stuff, or if they did, it wasn't glorified? Do we remember a time of sanity and happiness? Let's take TikTok down. Having your skin turn a different color is one thing, but getting sent to the ER for sodium overload from the root vegetable is another. Experts warn. So people are stupid. They are using canned carrots, which are packed in sodium as a preservative, you absolute giant numpties. I mean, I was hoping that idiocracy wasn't a portent of our future, but people are now ODing on canned carrots. I can't anymore. Elon Musk, wake me up from the Matrix. So if you're going to carrot max, use regular carrots. Now, according to Harvard Medical School physicians, who wrote in a recent statement, it's also highly likely that some patients are more salt sensitive than others. Directing salt restrictions to those vulnerable might be better than a one-size-fits-all approach. That was apparently the case for Sydney Pace, who consumed 6 cans of sliced carrots daily, not raw carrots, mind you, amounting to 5,250 milligrams of sodium a day. Okay, all right. We have found the people to send to fix the asteroid problem. And to the asteroid. That's more than double the Healthy American Heart Association's recommended limit of 2,300. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're going to carrot max, which you shouldn't, don't do that, you giant rejects. Don't use canned carrots. There you go. Just the more you know. I am a font of knowledge. And in our final story, just to make us feel happy again after that latest, display that we are in fact inevitably going into idiocracy, a good story to end our days. A flight attendant had passengers write us marriage advice en route to our wedding, and we'll cherish these tips forever. And Patrick W., thank you for your super chat. Fake tan and Lou Ferrigno, Kool-Aid Man, orange flavor. Yes. I loved Lou Ferrigno. Mostly because, again, his name was almost like a curse word. And when I used to say, but if you go, I always wanted to say Ferrigno. My mom was not allowed. I was not allowed to use those as curses either. It's like my mom didn't respect my, semi-curse creativity as much as you guys do. While jet setting off to their destination I-dos on Alaska Airlines flight, lovebirds Kristen and Sam were showered with warm words of wisdom from fellow passengers, wishing them well ahead of their wedding. The sweet flight attendant helped us ask people for marriage advice, gushed Kristen, a pediatric oncology nurse, in the closed captions of a cute clip. At the behest of an unnamed air hostess, travelers with marital mileage under their belts penned handwritten notes on airplane napkins and smaller pieces of paper to the nearly weds, sharing the secrets of a happy, healthy, holy matrimony. The touching tips scored more than 462 TikTok views. Representatives for Alaska Airlines did not immediately respond to the post's request for comment. Our advice is never give up because nothing is perfect, and don't sweat the small stuff. Never stop communicating and never go to bed mad, wrote a pair of high school sweethearts married 40 years. Keep God at the center of your marriage and have fun together. Don't forget to be best friends and laugh at the little things, another kindly couple advised. Stick together through the hard times, and the good times will eventually come again. Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments, a well-wisher warned. Be nice and communicate wants and needs. Be quick to forgive and say, I'm sorry. Look, I struggle with that. It might be my internalized Scottish, but it takes me about 3 days to stop being mad. Mr. Mo knows. I feel so bad. He's like mad and then he'll kind of get over it. Whereas I'm still stewing for about 3 days until I'm like, fine. Just fine. We're still married. I don't want to go out dating. Always respond to your partner's bids for attention, the other urged. If they say the sunset is pretty, drop everything and enjoy it together. If they ask if they look nice, truly take a moment to take them all in and give them a compliment. If they give you a quick hug, hold them longer. These small moments matter for intimacy. Yeah, well, having 6 kids and not getting interrupted by them or a cat is also great for intimacy, but you don't see me trying to get a card. I'm just kidding. Kirsten, who tied the knot with Sam on May 22nd in Phoenix, Arizona, said the wholesome hacks will serve as the wind beneath their newly wetted wings. We'll cherish these forever, vowed the blonde in the caption of the post. But she's far from the only bride to receive this first-class treatment while at 30,000 feet. Southwest Airlines cabin crew member hosted high nuptials for a bride-to-be and her fiancé during a recent flight from Austin, Texas to Oakland, California. It came complete with toilet paper, wedding dress, veil, and matching bouquet. Erica Hammond, former WWE diva and founder of Knockout at Equinox, also turned an airplane aisle into her big day runway. The NYC-based belle and the tech billionaire Ankur Jan tied the knot at a pseudo-wedding celebration aboard Egypt Air flight to Cairo last spring. I mean, okay, you get peanuts or pretzels as a dessert and you don't have to pay for anyone's dinner. I say getting married on an airplane might have a good thing. And then if anyone has objections to why the bride and groom shouldn't be married, they can just get a parachute. On that note, I'm going to parachute you guys on over to the Karen Read trial because I think it is about time to start with that. So as always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because honestly, it makes marriages spicy. I mean, Mr. Mo never knows what I'm going to be irritated about next. It is the spice of life. Bye, you guys. Or what wig I'll be wearing.